So why can mom life be so hard, so stressful, and so exhausting sometimes? We're going to go over the top 3 reasons why, because we have to know the why before we can fix it and make it better, right? So my name is Nikki B. I am your hot mess mama with realistic advice and real results. Everything we talk about are basically things that I have figured out because I am a hot mess mom, chronic anxiety, diagnosed with ADHD at age 38. Having kids, being a mom is very difficult for me. So I have to find ways to help our family dynamics because I'm determined to always be getting better and growing and helping my kids. So top 3 reasons why mom life can be so difficult. I've discovered that there's 3 questions we're always asking ourselves. One is, why is my child acting this way? I know I have terrible handwriting. I always blame it on being left-handed. So the first thing is, we have never been taught to understand the 3 core needs that all human beings have to feel are being met in order to develop like socially, emotionally. So all of us, even us as adults, we need these. But mainly when a child is growing and developing, these are going to be really important. We have the sense of safety, sense of connection, and sense of autonomy. So we're always asking, like, why is my child acting this way? And we tend to get really triggered and we're just looking at the surface level of the behavior, right? The whining, the tantrums, acting out, things like that. But once we have a new understanding of, okay, so that behavior is telling me that I need to address this core need or that core need, it makes life so much easier because now instead of just wondering why all the time, we can see the signals telling us exactly what to focus on. Instead of battling with the difficult behavior, we can address what needs to be met at the core need, at the core source, and then the difficult behaviors melt away. Okay, so number 2. We are usually asking ourselves, why am I losing my shiz all the time? Okay, so if we're wondering, why am I always yelling? Why am I always losing it? Why is this so hard for me? This is a big one for me because I've worked with children for a long time. I naturally was able to connect with children and animals my whole life, like really easily. And I worked with children. I studied child psychology, child growth and development, and I was very successful with this when it came to my career. So I thought it was going to be easy peasy when I became a parent, right? Well, I was wrong. I was dead wrong. So the reason why is because your children are a direct reflection of your internal states. So the dynamics there are completely different than working with other people's kids, right? So we've been designed so that when you have kids, it forces you to grow. Anything you have internally that you need to heal from or any kind of skills that you need to develop a bit more, your children are going to reflect that back at you times 100. And that can be really stressful. So that's why family usually butts heads a lot. So what I ended up doing was figuring out 12 foundational life skills or developmental skills for children so that I can focus on building these skills along with my child. So hand in hand with my little one, we build them together so that I can create a happier, more successful life for myself and for my children. So number 3, we tend to ask ourselves a lot, why is nothing working? We have so much parenting advice out there, whether we ask for it or not, right? So the reason why I figured out most of the advice wasn't working for me, because I was just researching like crazy to figure out, because I knew all of the psychology behind everything, all the techniques, but why couldn't I get it to work at home with my own children? Well, the reason why is a combination of, that they're a direct reflection of your internal states. And I had a lot to work on, and I still do, always will. But also, most techniques only focus on one of the 3 important key areas, which is either child, self, or environment. So instead of just focusing on disciplining your child, we have to focus on the self and the environment along with the child, right? There's 3 different things that are going on that's going to shift your family dynamics for a real transformation instead of just a Band-Aid. So I figured out, along with those 3 focus areas, how to address these in a way that's not overwhelming, because I do not handle stress very well. So I had to figure out, okay, everything's telling me to completely uproot my life, change the way I talk, change the way I act to help my child become better. And that's just not possible. We have a million different things going on as parents. We're pulled in a million different directions. We have so much on our plate. So I figured out a way to create a monthly cycle where I can focus on first, their core needs, and then I can focus on building our foundational life skills. And I can do it in a way that will not cause me to stress out and just go plummeting down into like anxiety and depression, right? So if you are wondering how I was able to do that, then you can go ahead and grab this Mama's Weekly Focus Planner that I've created here. It's for free. I don't need your email or anything. Just shoot me a message. And this basically helps us focus on the child. One technique for focus on the child for 1 week, just bite-sized transitions and growth, right? And then the self-focus for 1 week, just one tiny technique. And then the environment focus area for 1 week. And then the 4th week of the month is combining all of those, reflecting and celebrating. So this is just a cycle that I go through, and I can tell if I'm starting to fall off and I need to hop back on the cycles because things get crazy, right? So I hope this has helped you. If you want the Mama's Weekly Focus Planner, just shoot me a message and I'll send it to you.